Today's notes are on Chapter 3, Lesson 5, solving word problems with variables on both sides. So your objective is to complete the 5-step problem-solving process with a more complex equation. So the variable will appear on both sides of the equation. So let's start with our basic equation that we had in 3.4. So we start by reading the word problem. Solving using the 5-step plan. A 1,000-liter tank now contains 240 liters of water. How long will it take to fill the tank using a pump that pumps 25 liters per minute? Notice that per, that should tune you into a multiplier. And we think about setting up. What's our variable? We are looking for how long, and what are we trying to measure how long in? Well, our units of time in this problem is minutes. So we're going to use x to represent the number of minutes. And so looking through the problem, again, we've got the tank has 240 liters of water to start, so 240 in there to begin with, plus it's 25 liters for every minute, and that's a multiplier, so multiplying times the number of minutes. And if we fill the tank, then the tanks will be equal to its full capacity, which would be 1,000 liters. So there's our equation. Solve that, enter your answer on Edpuzzle. So hopefully you solved correctly and got 30.4. Remember, we're doing a word problem, so we want word answers. So it would take, let's try that again. It would take 30.4 minutes to fill the tank. All right, so looking at our example 1, we want to find a number that is 92 greater than its opposite. So we want to think about our setup, and we just want to use a variable to stand for the number we're looking for. So I'm going to say x is equal to a number. And then the other consideration in the problem is the number's opposite, which we would write algebraically as the opposite of x. So then thinking through the equation portion, we want to find a number. So we want to find x that's our equals, 92 greater than its opposite. So that's the opposite of x plus 92. So the number is 92 greater than its opposite. So its opposite plus 92. And we solve that. To solve that equation, you would add x to both sides. You get 2x is equal to 92. We divide both sides by 2. And we get x is equal to 46. Now this is a pretty simple plug-in, but you have x is equal to 46, and so then the opposite of x would be negative 46. And since it was a word problem, our sentence would just be the number is 46. For example 2, we're looking at the length of the rectangle being 5 times its width, and the perimeter is 88 centimeters more than its width. So we want to find the rectangle's dimensions. Now our setup, again, if it involves any kind of shape, we definitely want to consider that shape. So we have a rectangle, so I'm going to sketch a rectangle. I know I have congruent pairs of congruent sides and a right angle. We have the dimensions are what we're looking for, so I'm just going to take a look at x being the width of the rectangle. You could set it up the other way around, but when we look at the problem, the length of the rectangle being 5 times its width means we have some information about the length and what it's based on, but our most unknown is the width. So I like that to be my plain variable. So we have x as the width, and the length of the variable is 5 times the width, so that would be 5x is equal to the length, and I'm going to label that on my diagram. And then the equation kind of given to us when we're given a perimeter problem, if we know the perimeter formula. The perimeter formula for a rectangle, you could add the whole way around, but typically you're given the perimeter formula as perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And so we can kind of plug in the values for that. So we know that our length is 5x, so 2 times 5x, plus 2 times the width, which we have as x. And then in the problem it tells us the perimeter is 88 centimeters more than the width. So the perimeter is the width plus 88. And now we have our equation. So we have like terms to combine and some simplifying to do. We have x plus 88 on the left. This would be 10x plus 2x. Of course, we can simplify that even further because 10x plus 2x would give us 12x. Now we want to make sure we get variables to one side. To do that, I'm going to subtract x off the left. And that's going to give me 88 is equal to 11x. And then I can divide both sides by 11. And I get x is equal to 8. Now as a plug-in, that's going to give me a width, which was x, of 8 centimeters. And the length would be 5 times that, which of course is 40 centimeters. And because it's a word problem, we'll answer in sentence form. So the rectangle is 40 centimeters long and 8 centimeters wide. So in example 3, we see the angle stuff come up to play, another thing we can use equation solving for that might be involved in a word problem. And it says the supplement of an angle is 6 more than 4 times its complement. Find the angle measurement, its complement, and its supplement. So our unknown is the angle measurement. So that's what I'm going to use x for. So I'm going to say x is equal to the angle measurement, and that of course would be in degrees. And the complement of an angle is going to be whatever it takes to add that up to 90. So that would be 90 minus x. And so what do you think you would do for the supplement of the angle? All right, so that is 180 minus x. And then we're looking at setting up our equation, so we want to reread through the problem. So the supplement of an angle, that's the 180 minus x, is 6 more than 4 times its complement. So just reading through that, the supplement of an angle, so that's the 180 minus x, is, that's your equals, 6 more than 4 times its complement. So 6 more is going to tell me plus 6. 4 times its complement is 4 times the 90 minus x. And we've set up our equation. And we need to solve. To solve, I need to first take care of the distributive process to simplify. So I need to multiply the 4 times both pieces in parentheses. That will give me 360 minus 4x plus 6. And then I would combine my like terms on the right of 360 and 6. So my new equation is 180 minus x equals 366 minus 4x. Now we have a simplified equation with variables on both sides. So we want to get variables to one side. I'm going to choose the left-hand side for variables. So I'm going to get rid of the variables on the right by adding 4x to both sides. That'll give me 180 plus 3x is equal to 366. And of course we get the constant off the left by taking off 180. And that's going to give me 3x is equal to 180 degrees. And we divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 186 degrees. Let's go back and fix that there. There we go. And then we get x is equal to 62 degrees. Doing the plug-in process just means that we're going to make sure we have each of our answers. So our x is equal to 62 degrees. Our complement is 90 minus x. And so that would be 28 degrees. Our supplement is 180 minus x, or 180 minus 62, which is 118 degrees. So again, word problems, so word answers, so we would just translate into a sentence. So the angle is 62 degrees. The complement is 28 degrees, and the supplement is 118 degrees. Next, looking at example 4, it says the complement of an angle is 16 more than 1/3 its supplement. Find the angle measurement, its complement, and its supplement. So again, we need to define our variable. So I'm going to use x as the basic angle measurement. And that would be in degrees. For the complement, 90 minus x. And for the supplement would be 180 minus x. Then we go back, we want to establish the equation, so you've got to read through, and it says the complement of an angle is, so that would be 90 minus x is your equal, 16 more than, so that's going to be adding 16 to 1/3 its supplement. So that's 1/3 of 180 minus the x. Then we would simplify and solve that equation. Go ahead and solve that equation and enter your value for x into Edpuzzle. So hopefully no matter which way you chose to solve that equation, whether you multiplied through to get rid of the fraction or you just distributed, as you can see I did here, you should get x is equal to 21. Now don't forget, you need to establish the complement and the supplement. So we have x is equal to 21 degrees. Then for the complement, we would have 90 minus 21, and that would give us 69 degrees. And for the supplement, it would be 180 minus 21, which would be 159 degrees. So the angle is 21 degrees. The complement is 69 degrees. The supplement is 159 degrees. So our last example, example 5, says the green tank contains 23 gallons of water and is being filled at a rate of 4 gallons per minute. The red tank contains 10 gallons of water and is being filled at a rate of 5 gallons per minute. When will the two tanks contain the same amount of water? So again, we're looking at what our unknown is. We're looking for when. So we're looking for a time factor. So you want to think about what time is being measured in here. And the unit of measure is minutes. So then our unknown is the number of minutes that the tanks, since the tanks have been filling. So the number of minutes since the tank has been filling. All right, and then the idea in the story is that we want the green tank to equal the red tank in that time. So we reread through and establish the equation. So the green tank contains 23 gallons of water. It already has 23 gallons of water in it. And then we're adding to that 4 gallons for every minute. And we want it to equal the red tank. And so the red tank is 10 gallons of water already. And we're going to add to that 5 gallons every minute. Then we solve our equation. I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I get 23 is equal to 10 plus x, and then subtracting 10, I get 13 is equal to x. And so I have established that the two tanks will have the same amount after 13 minutes. Remember to take all your questions into your teacher.